Hello, everyone. I am Erika of beadingschool.com, and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika, my weekly beady broadcast. Today, we are going to have an Ask Me Anything video. That's why I also chose a different view because this is a chance to get to know me more if you would like to, and I wanted to create how we say it in Dutch, gezellig, feel at home atmosphere. So I would like to welcome today to my home, to my life, and so much more. Because beading school, it has always been more than just beads. We love our shiny treasures, but the heart of it all, it's the people. That means you or amazing reading community. And I'm so happy that the face-to-face interviews are still going after so many years. And every month I have a chance to get to know more and more of you. The community also means our beloved partners, manufacturers, who bring us the shiny treasures. And also the team of Beading School that makes everything happen behind the scenes. So, over the past years, you have already met several of us. Of course, you get to meet me twice a week, but you have also met Andrea when she told about how we got to know each other and what does she do at beading school. You got to know Zuzi very well, I think. You met Melinda and even Timi, because even if she did not join me so far for a live interview, but you have met Timi because of a really, really nice interview on the Beading School blog. It was so inspirational to read it, and Timi is actually here with us. She just said, "Hi, ladies and Erika." And I would also like to thank her one more time for that special interview where she answered my questions. So today I would like to invite you to come and hang out together, take a look around if you feel like it, and ask me anything that you are curious about. But first of all, I would like to warmly greet everyone who has decided to join today. I see Cindy, Jessica, Ariane, Amanda, and thank you, Ariane, for saying that you can see me and hear me. I am a bit overexcited and shy today, so I even forgot to ask my usual question. I moved myself out of my usual spot and now it feels so different. Everything. I see Kata and Lita likes the book wall. Thank you so much, Lita. It's really something important for me. There are books all around the flat, even in the kitchen. And I will answer Ariana's question right away. Then I have some important information, and in the meantime, I would already like to invite you to think about what you would like to know, what you would like to see, and then I will return to the questions. I would like to also greet Molly, Ellen, Antoinette, Sherry, Anita, Nancy, Katja, Jen. Kristen says, "Greetings, everyone. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day." Christine, Marlo, Merle, Erika, Kimberly, Donna, Martika. Thank you, Kimberly. Oh, and also Niti and Veronka indeed joined me. Bernadette, Hannah, Vanya. Molly is asking, is that color arranged, the bookcase? Yes, it is. I can show you a wider view a little bit later. Aniko is also here. And Ariana was asking how I am. And indeed, I already said I'm a bit feeling shy and excited. Okay, not shy, I'm rarely shy, but like excited because this is so different and it feels very intimate. And with most of you, we actually know each other for years, but you always see only a corner of my home, especially the new one, which I really poured my heart into during this past month. And also, even if it feels like I am sharing so much about what's happening, but it's always color coded. So in a way, it feels like I put out everything, and still this is a different kind of invitation. So my heart is like, but in a very positive way. But in the meantime, I would like to invite you for a game. Because, as I said, beading school is so much more than beads. It's mainly about the people, about friendships, about connections. And what I really, really love is that we get to know each other from different corners of the world. I'm sitting here in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, actually the beading school team. It is in Slovakia, in my birth country, led by Andrea. Some of the Aniko, who is also a member of the beading school team by now, she's in Hungary. So, and our beaders, Japan, Taiwan, Indonesia, Peru, Lithuania recently, Slovenia, Costa Rica, Canada, but we are all connected by something more than beads. And last year we started out a new tradition, and this year I would love to invite you to continue this and really like making it into a part of beading school life. And it is about postcards. Because do you remember that feeling? These days we are sending always emails and WhatsApp messages, but can you still recall that feeling when you receive a real postcard or even a letter maybe? So I would love to bring that feeling back. Actually, I have 3 boxes up there, and one of them is full of postcards and letters that I have received over the years, many of them from you ladies. They are all up there. And this year, again, we are organizing a game for our Beading School Club members where we invite you to join this game, and you can join it until Thursday. We will close it after no one has to bead alone. And afterwards, we will create matches, and you will receive 2 names where you need to send a postcard or a letter. And then, of course, I invite you to connect with each other and maybe something special. Something special will start there. And Hannah says that she wants to join the team, but she was going to subscribe. She could not find the link. Dear Hannah, I just posted it in a comment, and you can also scan the QR code on the screen. So I really hope that you get to join. If there is still a technical problem when you click on the link, then please send an email as soon as possible to info@beadingschool.com so we can help you out. We would love to have you there. It would be wonderful. So lovely, ladies. This was actually like the important information that I wanted to share. I would also like to thank everyone who joined the lunch break Zoom room last Saturday with Zuzi. She told me all about it on Monday. She said that she had an amazing time. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining. And now I will scroll back a little bit and keep your questions coming, dear ladies. So also, Ariana, if there is anything more specific than my current mood, please just don't shy away to ask. I would like to also greet Evie, Kristen, and I will, since your first questions came about my color-coded bookcase, then I will give you a wider view of it. So indeed, I have these two bookcases. Not everything fit there, but I have these two bookcases, and I arranged all my books by colors. It was not my original intention, but somehow it came to me one day, and it was actually a lot easier than I expected it to be once I started doing it. And I often get the question if I can find the book I am looking for. And in fact, mostly I can, because I have a good visual memory. So if I have read that book already, then most probably I can recall it. How does it look like? Or, well, it was already in my hands when I bought it or found it or got it. So most of the time I can find the book that I am looking for, but also most of the books I have read already, which are here. And I have a pile next to my bed, which contains the books that I plan to read. And there are several places in the flat where there are books that I am reading at the moment. Or, for example, I have here my art albums on the windowsill. Then I have more books and some games in my coffee table. And as I mentioned, even in the kitchen and even in my bedroom, there are some more. There are some more books. So Martika says that she also loves books. I would also like to greet Barbara, Linda, Rita, Sharon, Angelina. Antoinette has a question. Anyone will be in Paris? She will be visiting Paris, so she would love to meet some fellow beading school beaders. And Sherry says, hi, Sherry. It's so funny that you have color coordinated your bookshelf. I color coordinate one of my bookshelves by the season or holiday. Valentine's, it's pink and red. Halloween, it's orange and purple and black. Christmas, it's red and green and so forth. Thank goodness I have lots of books. It really pays off, right? Marie Cecile is here also. And Molly is asking, how many are we? People seem to ask me that question quite frequently. Like, how many are we in the Beading School Academy? That's around like 500 Beading School Academy students. Right here at this video, the combined number at the moment is 64 beaders. There are 1,500 Beading School beaders in the Beading School Club, 10,000 on the Facebook page. So depending on the exact location. Also, Carol joined us. Erika would love to see a map of where we all live. I hope I can create something like that one day. And Ariana says it was lovely last year, the postcard game, so she signed it up this year again. I'm really happy, Ariana. And Lita says, can we see those amazing earrings that you are wearing? Of course, Lita. And in fact, there is only one. It is made with an art cabochon. and then lots of cup chain. And I have a peyote bezeled cubic zirconia at the top. Unfortunately, some beads are broken because I managed to drop it, so I need to mend it. But yeah, this is how it looks like. It's very, very simple. I bead embroidered the lower part and then joined the peyote bezeled cabochon to it with a thin part. And we have those cup chain holders in the beading school bead shop, and that's how I managed to sew them in between the foundation and the backing, and then just left them super long. And I'm always wearing I have only one of these, actually. And Jessica has a question related to books. She says, lovely to see you, Erika. Thank you, dear Jessica. What languages are your books in? And what's your favorite category? So super nice questions, dear Jessica. Most of my books are in Hungarian, in fact, because my mother's tongue is Hungarian. And I also studied Hungarian language and literature, Hungarian linguistics and literature at university. So even if we were reading word literature, like French authors or Russian or English, then most of the times we were reading the Hungarian translations. So most of them are in Hungarian, but I do have now a significant amount, of course, in English, and some in Dutch, some in Slovak, very few in Dutch and very few in Spanish. I have never got to read Spanish, but I have some language books at least. And favorite category? I'm not sure I can make a decision. I do love poetry, though I'm not reading as much poetry these days as I used to. I love, 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 love fiction, because I think by emotionally living in a story that hasn't happened to us, but we are like witnessing it from a safe distance through the pages, that it expands our world and it expands the horizon of emotions that we can feel and recognize and work with tremendously. So I do love fiction, but also I read quite a lot of self-help books about psychology, about personal development mostly. So usually I am alternating that I read a self-help book and then I'm back at fiction, maybe 2 fiction books. So I if I had to choose, it would be fiction. But yeah, I do read different kinds of books. And hi, Gunel. And Ariana has right away 2 questions. She says, how can you be creative when you have to? For example, you need to come up with a new design for a new theme, calendar, etc. in a time. Isn't it too much pressure to be creative? Super good question, Ariana. And I don't deny sometimes there is pressure, but how I try to eliminate that pressure, and I'm thankful to the purchasing team of Beadingschool to help me with this, that it really makes a difference, that how much time do I have to create a design. Because imagine that when we started with Beadingschool Academy, then I would receive the box a week before showing you the jewels. So I would have, and for the first few themes, I was the only one designing everything. Later, Zuzi started, Veronka, or designers' friends, Aniko. But at the beginning, it was me and very, very, very little time. So now when I have usually 4 or 5 weeks the box on my bead mat, and everyone else also who with whom we are creating for you, it really makes a difference. It feels like playing. We do have time to experiment. We do have time to make mistakes. So it feels, for me now, it feels a lot freer. Sometimes there is a task that I take up and then it does not work out as easily as I imagined it to be, but so far so good. So the time is the biggest helper in this way. So nowadays I'm okay with it. In the meantime, Sue commented, I have been beading Theodora today. It's beautiful pattern. My question is, do you have a favorite pattern that you have beaded multiple times? Dear Sue, my favorite at the moment, I think it would be Bonum Ventis or Angel Wing. These were both exclusive kits for previous advent calendars. And to be specific, the Bonum Ventis, I loved beading it in the original colorway with the astral pink, even if, like, the beginning, it went so smooth, and then I started to struggle with it a bit. But I was very, very happy. I am very happy with the end result. And then Angel Wing, I started it during a vacation 2 years ago, and I really loved beading that. And I'm so happy that you loved beading Theodora. And Ariane, how do you manage to split your work and private life? I mean, friends are colleagues, hobby as work, home as office. Isn't it difficult sometimes not to get lost? Ooh, indeed, Ariane. Like, there are blurred lines also. There are also barriers that I had to say that I can't cross. Otherwise, in the long term, I am damaging myself. I am doing damage to my surroundings. So, for example, I had to say, like, I don't take up any tasks deliberately for weekends, or and then I still end up beading, and I still end up working sometimes because I get inspired by something. I need to write down something, or just a solution for a problem comes to my mind. And then I go back to my computer and work on it. But in my free time, it really needs to feel free. And my home office, well, last year, or like at the beginning of last year, when I did not yet know that I will be moving and separating and everything, then at the beginning, I actually planned to move out from my home studio to a rented atelier. I thought that might ease some of the pressure that I was experiencing, but then later I felt like it's actually not the solution to some of the problems I was facing. So I still work from my home atelier, from my new home, and I'm actually loving it. I have everything here, and it does happen often actually that I do want to bead in my free time. So I do have my beads here. What is like a compulsory thing for me, that every day, no matter if it's raining, no matter if it's shining, whatever, I do go out for a coffee and I do sit down. So I take usually either my journal, I take a book, I take my beads, and I spend at least an hour in a cafe nearby. I get to talk to the baristas. We are actually, one of them, we found out that she lives like on the same corridor as I do. So it's super nice. I made her some brownies the other day. And yeah, so it feels good. And so I get out every day. And what I feel as actually the benefit of working from home is that, yes, I do feel sometimes lonely. I do have to admit it. It would be so nice if I could have a coffee or lunch together with colleagues who are indeed, some of them are close friends. But before, when, okay, that was also during a time when I was struggling with my mental health, mental well-being, I did not have as many free time activities. But now, since I am working on my own from my home atelier during the day, even if I have a few meetings during the week, and even if I'm meeting you ladies, then by the evening I have an urge mostly to like do something. So I started tango classes. I go to little concerts. I love getting to know people randomly. So I do have more energy this way to build up my social activities in my free time. And let's admit it, I'm living on my, well, I do have a lovely flatmate, but yeah, I do love expanding also my social circles in that way. And Onikos has a question. And Ariana, if there is anything more to specify, let me know. And Aniko says, I recognize some of your books, Erika. Which language do you like to read in the most? Which ones do you recognize, dear Aniko? Or do you see a favorite of yours, maybe? When it comes to fiction, or especially poetry, then I have to read it. Especially poetry, I have to read it in Hungarian, because the words have tastes, the words have sounds, the words smell, the words, I feel them in my bones. So they do have a deeper, each word, it's not only a word, it's like, it's familiar from a different place already, or a phrase. So they do bring deeper meanings with them. And it really makes a difference when reading poetry, I think. Also in fiction, but I don't mind fiction in English at all. It's absolutely fine with me. Nowadays, actually, fiction I shifted towards English, but poetry I stayed with Hungarian. And self-help, definitely English. I don't think I would be able to read self-help books in Hungarian for some reason. Though there is a book that I really, really would love to buy from a Hungarian author now, Tapasztó Orsi, maybe you know her, Aniko. She just published her first book, and I really plan to get my hands on it. And Elena is here. And Irene is asking about the language of my books, so I told about that already. And Miriam is here. And Irene is asking about the postcard game. So dear Irene, I am posting the link again. You can find it in the Beadingschool Club. And Nancy's asking about the earrings. I already showed that. And Niti is here, and she says, what a great day for a live coffee time, cooking for the boys. Ha! Kristen says, pick your favorite book in the turquoise colored shelf. I love the challenge, Kristen. Do you mean like this turquoise bluish part? Then let me see. Okay, that's obvious. So it's called The Sunflowers Are Mine. And it's the story of Van Gogh's masterpiece, indeed. And the book is about like how there are painters who are deeply connected to one type of flowers. And of course, Van Gogh is connected to the sunflowers. And yeah, it is a journey analysis, a story of how that happened. And actually, from this book, I learned that there are not only one, as I imagined before, but different paintings that he painted, the sunflowers. And actually, my bookmark is at my favorite version, which is, of course, also kind of turquoise. So this is also a sunflower painting by Van Gogh, and it's unfortunately in a private collection, so I will probably never ever see it in real life, even if I saw only 2 days ago one of the other sunflowers, which is in the museum here. But this one, it's so much more cheerful. And the other sunflower paintings, they also have like flowers which are already like kind of rotting and falling apart. And this is like in full bloom. This is such a happy painting. So this is my favorite turquoise book, Kristen. And Jennifer is here. Lutka. And Cindy, she asks, do you ever get an inspiration for a beading box from any of your books? Absolutely, dear Cindy. We actually did the Dangerous Liaisons 2 years ago, I think, or a year ago. 2 years ago, maybe already. And there might be another literature-inspired book, literature-inspired theme coming in early 2026. Poetry this time. So, indeed. And Lita says, talking about designing, how often do you end up scrapping a design? I wanted to say very often, because I had a design that I scrapped a few times recently, but I don't think there is a rule. I would say there are 3 categories for the designs. There are the designs which are just flowing, and like 1, 2, 3, I have it. And that goes sometimes even for the bigger ones, not only the small ones. Then there are the designs that I cut apart like so many times that I rather not count. Circino from the Fly Me to the Moon was like that. I got it apart so many times until I was happy. And then there are the designs that just don't feel quite all right, and I don't know how to make them better, or I just get tired of them. So I do have a box where I put those, and it has happened, of course, that I got back to them and then I felt like, wow, how could I not know what's the solution? Because of the gathered experience, or maybe just the distancing myself from the process, it helped. So they are the dormant pieces, like dormant volcanoes. Oh, I'm glad I managed to answer your questions well. Cindy says she loves poetry too. Oh my god. And Iveta says, I recently started beading and discovered you in Vasárnap and I am hooked. That is so nice, Iveta. Thank you for reading that article. Oh, and Aniko's favorites, Ulysses, Van Gogh, and maybe the Hungarian Explanatory Dictionary, if I see correctly, and some of the word literature series. I think you see an etymology dictionary. I studied linguistics, and I was really, really hooked into the history of languages. I wanted to be a language historian, specifying in Hungarian language history. So that's why I have etymology and all kinds of like very specific books about Hungarian language. And Erika, also very nice question. Do you have other crafty hobbies? I love cooking. And that's it. So since I need to be creative in my work, and not only with the beads, but solving problems, writing, then my other hobbies in my free time, they are very different. So also it took some time to train my friends and my family not to get me more free time crafty activities, because then I use my brain all the time in the same way. I want to use my brain in a different way in my free time than I do use it at my work. So I love dancing and movement in general. I started tango recently, which I enjoy tremendously. If you want to see a video, I can show you a video in the club. I do pole sport, which we already have a video of some of a pole move of mine in the club, if you look back. I like yoga. I love running. I at the moment, I am really, well, health is a priority. Mental health, physical health. So I try to do some exercising every day. So every other day I am running 5 to 10 kilometers, and the other days I am weightlifting. So no crafty hobbies in my free time. And I am doing my weightlifting right here. Oh my God, that's my gym, actually. So you see my weights ranging from 2 to 7.5 kilograms. That's my pole for now under the couch. I need to put it up still. That's my yoga mat under the couch, also the pink one. So this living room, this is not only a living room, it's a yoga studio, it's a gym, it's a pole studio, it's my beading room. So much, there is my reading corner also. So much fits into this living room. And I have Shelley here also. And Christine asks, what is your favorite genre for fiction? Romance, crime, mystery, or something else? Hard to say. Not romance, not crime, and not mystery. So a recent favorite, I will show it to you. A recent favorite, and Faye will back me up because she read it following my recommendation from my personal account. This is from a Japanese author, Michiko Aoyama, and it's called What You Are Looking For is in the Library. So there are several short stories in it, and always someone wanders into the library, talks a bit to the librarian, and she's like a fairy. And she recommends not just the books solving exactly the problem that the people are talking about, but she goes a level deeper. So there might be like some very surprising book recommendations. And then when the people read those books, then something clicks. And right away, the first story really resonated with me. And I actually got it from a dear friend as a gift. She's Dutch, but she speaks perfect Hungarian. She was here Sunday evening in the end, because otherwise we wouldn't met for like, I don't know, 3-4 months. So she came over before I would go traveling a bit, and then she would go traveling. So we were like missing each other. So she's Dutch, but she wrote me into this book in Hungarian, and that also feels so special. And she was actually my Dutch teacher originally. And Ariana is asking, do we get a sunflower tin someday? We should, I think. Martika is asking about a favorite book in red. Dear Martika, I posted about my favorite book in red on my personal account recently, but I will show it to you. So this is called The Human Tragedy, and it's like Faust, but from a Hungarian author called Madács Imre. And why I love it, this book, it's not necessarily about the piece itself, but because this is so old. This is one of the most precious books I have ever had, the most precious books I have. So even the how the words are written, the orthography is like old. Unfortunately, there is no date in this. But yeah, this is a really nice one. And Deborah is asking, when you like the design idea, but one color seems to overwhelm the design, do you tear it up and try another color? It did happen, but I rather progress slowly, and if I feel that the piece is off balance for some reason, but I feel like the construction is good, just there is something wrong with the colors, then I try to balance it out with more beads, not by going back, but by adding more. I like to avoid tearing it apart. And then Judith, what are some of your favorite things about Amsterdam? And there are so many. My current favorite thing is that I just feel so welcomed here in this new neighborhood where I live. So, for example, there is a Turkish shop downstairs on the ground floor of my building. And I do know a few Turkish words because I had a bit of Turkish at university. Again, Turkish and Hungarian influenced each other, so I wanted to be really good at my field, and that's why I try to learn Turkish language. So when I go down, then I do my best to do the greetings and the numbers and so on in Turkish. And after a while, the owner of the shop, an old gentleman, he offered me, just as they do it in Istanbul and in Turkey, he offered me tea, and I'm like, sure. So they gave me a chair. I was sitting there in the shop with my chai, with my tea. I got snacks. I got an avocado as a gift. And then during the weekend, I actually had the idea of like, I want to return the favor. So I made brownies, and I brought brownies to the whole staff of the Turkish shop. And then they invited me for eating with them, which hasn't happened yet. But yeah, so this is just so nice. And also the girl I mentioned, the barista, who is a neighbor also, and we are just chatting, and it feels good. So I love the hospitality of Amsterdammers, how people are kind to each other and open to differences, no matter what is your background, national background, language, religion, sexual orientation, gender, whatever. Everyone is like, okay, we are all human beings trying to be nice to each other. And actually, the previous mayor of Amsterdam, Eberhard van Laan, he had a saying that take good care of the city and each other. That was his like famous quote. It's even on a graffiti nearby. And it does really resonate with me. So people do care about Amsterdam and do care about each other through those tiny, nice things in life. And I think it makes such a difference. And Molly is asking, where do you sit and bead? So most of the time I bead there in the corner, but I have a reading corner here, which is sometimes used for beading. And often I push this coffee table to the window, and then I bead there also, and sometimes in the kitchen. So yeah, different places. And Belinda, what box came closest to the vision you had for it? And which box the furthest from the original vision? Let me think. There are always changes because, well, sometimes we order from the manufacturer, like, yeah, make beads for 500 people and some more for the bead shop, but then we don't receive it or don't receive enough of it. So there always need to be, I think, like 10 to 20% changes compared to the original idea, but it always really blends in, so it still fits. It's just different than what I might have imagined, but not by a lot. Maybe like sometimes one or two things need to be adjusted, or sometimes actually Andrea reaches out like, hey, I found this and I think it still fits, it's in the budget, it's within the team, can I please put it in? And I'm like, of course. So yeah, that's the thing. And Linda is mentioning biking. I haven't been biking this year, only once, when I discovered that my race bike is broken. So I need to get it mended. Luckily, one of my friends, he knows how to fix it. So we need to arrange, like, he comes for coffee, he fixes my bike. He's really nice for offering that. So I should get back to biking. And Elena is asking, I would like to know what use points are for Facebook group members. I don't fully understand that, Elena. That what do you mean by use points? Can you please elaborate? And Martika also loves dancing, but this time of the year also swimming. I sometimes go swimming in the canals 5 minutes from me, so I share your passion. And thank you, Cindy. Miriam signed up for the postcard game also. And Anita is asking what is hanging over your sofa. So we have a great tradition of King's Day and King's Day flea markets in the Netherlands. That's the king's birthday. And his gift to the people is this. Everyone receives one. No, I'm joking. His gift is that everyone can set up a little shop kind of next to the street. So Amsterdam turns into a huge flea market. Basically, you go out, you take with you what you don't need anymore. You take some alcohol also, you share it with your neighbors, and you might end up without your original garbage, but bringing home someone else's. And yeah, this is something that I bought during a King's Day. It's an old scale. I also bought this during the same King's Day, but the nail that I attached to the wall, it started to, yeah, come out. So I'm not yet the best handy woman, but I'm working on it. And Ariana says, how do you know how to put all the meaningfulness into your inspiration sources of the academic teams? I can't answer that question, Ariana, because it just feels so natural. But what is funny that, you know, like Beadingschool academic teams, by the time that you get them, I and we, that whole team, we have been working on them maybe for half a year already. And still, by the time that I'm most intensely in contact with the team, because you are also becoming part of the team, because the boxes are landing, we are beating the juvos. It has always been the case that somehow my life resonates with the team. Fly Me to the Moon, the 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 celestial lantern, and I said that no matter if you feel it's dark, you can light the flame and you will attract the right people. And I wrote that text in October, and I did not yet fully know what will be happening. Then the Rosetta window, now even the Towards the Lighthouse, Finding the Light Within, the next one will be also like very, very, very much resonating with what I feel, what I go through, and then it's just, I don't know, coming naturally. And Linda says, I have a cousin that went to visit Amsterdam 30 years ago and she's still there. She fell in love with Amsterdam. Kind of my case, Linda. I came here for 1 year, 10 years ago. And Lita asks, and now I will go quickly through the questions because I still want to share with you something, but actually, please, you can also ask your questions in the Beadingschool Club, and this week I will dedicate some of my time to answer those questions. So if there is no time for your question now, then you can still ask it in the club. And Lita is asking, coffee is such a big part of your life. What is your favorite kind? Cappuccino, espresso, or a kind of bean? So these days I start my day with a filter coffee, a V60 filter coffee. It's because it requires only a plastic filter and that's it. But otherwise, I love cappuccinos. But I don't have a proper coffee machine. Well, I do have one because I inherited one from the previous owners of the flat, but for my own, I don't need one. So I start my day with a filter coffee. I love it, absolutely love it. And then in the afternoon, I have a cappuccino always outside in the cafe. And if I visit Adam, for example, then he always makes me an espresso and a cappuccino. Sometimes I ask him to make me an espresso and a cappuccino. So I love all kinds of coffees. I hate matcha, for example. I know that's not a coffee, but always they have it in cafes these days, and I absolutely hate matcha. And favorite kinds of beans: high acidity, citrusy flavors, red fruit flavors, Ethiopian, Kenyan, Rwanda, and yeah, that's it. And lightly roasted. That's so much information about coffee, right? And Nancy, all is good with greeting cards. What matters is the connection. And Elena is asking, under each post's name, there is a number of points. What are they used for? I don't know, Elena. I'm sorry. And Jessica is asking about storing my beady beauties. I think that should be a different, separate topic because it's not possible to answer it during this limited time. And it does feel as I am writing my love story. Sometimes I do. I just don't know. Yeah, so I am writing my life story. So, yeah, together with you ladies. And thank you, Linda. And I had lots and lots of fun, Ariana. She says, thank you very much for answering our questions. You did very well with this new format, and I hope you had as much fun as we had. I had a tremendous amount of fun, dear Ariana. Lots and lots of fun today. Thank you so much for your questions. However, don't leave yet, because I do have still something that I would like to show you, and I will need to switch to my hand camera. And since I am walking around now with my notebook, then it will require a little bit of time. hopefully not a lot. So just let me please do this switch, and let me pull up what I wanted to say. So, lovely ladies, so those of you who are here for coffee time with Erika and no one has to be alone for a longer time already, then you know that until the beginning of March, I used to join you from a different flat and a different home and a different beading room. And a lot has changed during this past year. And while being on this transformative journey, there were many lessons that I had to learn and many yet to come. I'm 100% sure of it. And there is a little piece of wisdom that I would like to share now. So I would like to share, and it's connected also to in a way also to the Turkish shop story that I have mentioned already. It's about the much needed daily treasures in our lives. So when you embark on a big trip, it is rarely about wanting to find a little seashell 1,000 miles away. The reason to embark on that journey, it might be a pull towards the unknown, for something different, for the journey itself, for the feeling of discovery. But still, those little sparkling seashells, treasures, pearls will be there, making every day while you are traveling shiny, and every day something to remember. You can even pass those seashells later to someone else to make their days brighter. And what are those daily treasures that you can gather along your journey? Maybe it's the smile of a stranger or an unexpected compliment you receive, a few kind words with a neighbor, a walk in the park, enjoying your coffee in a spot where you have never been before, and maybe even a little sweet reward of like a cake from time to time. Because life, after all, is made up mostly of these daily small treasures, mostly of these tiny trinkets that you can find. If you keep your eyes open, if you are willing to bend down for them, pick them up, maybe polish them a bit, and if your eyes are open for their beauty. So while we are searching for the lighthouse in ourselves and beyond, I also have for you a bag of trinkets from the sea that can brighten your days and brighten the journey while you are traveling. And these trinkets, these glass beads, they are shaped by fire and imagination. And in your hands, they can become more than decoration. They can become a jewel, they can become a memory, they can become a reminder of something special. So let me switch now to my hand camera, dear ladies. Hopefully it works now. Just a moment. And please let me know if you can see me and hear me still. So today I would like to show you the Trinkets of the Sea bag. And let's see what's inside. It is full of treasures from the Czech Crystal Valley. And it has treasures that you can find during your everyday journey. So I have here, there should be 8 bags in it altogether. And I have some of these to show you. Each bag that we have created, it holds a different set, a different surprise colors, but I would like to show you now some of the possibilities that might be included. So there can be some diaphan beads that we also had in the Towards the Lighthouse Beading School Academy team box. The ones I received are in jet gold with an extra gold painting. And they really look like as if they were picked up from the beach, in my opinion. I love this color. Maybe there will be a different color of diaphan beads in your Trinkets bag. There can be also purple beige with full AB coating. These are somewhat translucent, very, very beautiful. Or these are also beautiful alabaster full AB with brown painting. So every Trinkets bag, it holds 10 pieces of diaphan beads in a surprise color. Then there will be 6 pieces of anchor beads, also in a surprise color. I received, for example, opaque yellow with ocean green, with an ocean green anchor. And these are table cut beads, and they are also perfect for bead embroidery. I really like the combination of yellow and turquoise here. Then each bag will also contain boat beads, 4 pieces. Let me see. Here are my boat beads. Mine are in jet travertine ocean green. And as I said, there will be a surprise color in yours. So this is how they look like. So these are those little trinkets, little daily pieces of happiness, something extra to cheer you up and to remember every day, because it's not always about the big things. Then there are always also 10 pieces of ship wheel beads in your bag. I received 4 of these dark blue painted ones. And this could also be bezeled. And immediately they bring me to the sea and on an adventure on a boat. Then there will be 10 pieces of shell beads. And this is how they look like. Again, they can come in surprise colors. You can hang them below a piece of beadwork, use them in embroidery, bezel some of them. Then we have 14 pieces of mitre shells in our bags. And these are the ones. I get to know so many different types of shells and snails thanks to the Towards the Lighthouse team. So this is how they look like. Then we have 4 pieces of fossil shell beads. Mine are in opaque green, copper painted. There is so much energy and movement thanks to this part. And then I have 10 pieces of Murex shell beads. Again, a different type of shell that I got to know thanks to the Towards the Lighthouse theme. And moreover, at the moment, the box also comes with a gift tutorial, and this is the gift tutorial that you can receive with it. For now, it is only available with the box, and this beautiful pair of earrings, the Golden Oyster, was made by Laura. I think it's a really, really nice piece. I love the arms made of cubic right angle weave above the shell beads. So I really hope that you like this little collection corresponding with the Towards the Lighthouse Beading School Academy theme box. And that switch was so easy now. So as you can see, the beads can also be more towards red, orange, and brown. They can be green, they can be blue. And all the pieces that are included in the little bag, they remind you of a small daily piece of happiness, something to remember. It's not about the end of the journey. It's about all those little treasures that we can gather all along the way. And lovely ladies, I would like to thank you for your company today. I really, really appreciate your curiosity. It feels so good. And thank you so much. And I'm also so glad that I get to know you through the face-to-face interviews, because we are a community, and indeed, like beading school, it's beading school life. We drink our coffees together, we bead together, we chat together, and we enjoy life's little pleasures like beads and so much more, and postcards together. So lovely ladies, do you have any questions left that I might be able to answer? But I will show you still that these beads are also available one by one in the bead shop, in the new in the bead shop category. However, as you might know, if you go for the I'm not showing what I wanted to show. I'm sorry. I can't manage the screen sharing now. So they are also available in the bead shop one by one, but the best value is to go for the little trinket bag. So thank you so much, dear ladies. If you don't have any more questions left, then I would like to thank you for your attention, for your creativity, for your shiny bead orders, and see you on Thursday. Don't forget to sign up for the postcard game, and I would like to wish you a nice rest of the day. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Bye-bye.